aligned actually, aligned action, one action at a time. So together with me, we have Nicole. She's the SG lady boss. She's all about boss, so she calls herself SG lady boss. Then we also have Anthony. Anthony is our wealth guy. He's very good in wealth management from different aspect, different perspective, and it is not only product based, but it's also more towards what does wealth mean to us, so that wealth serves us to have a fulfilling life. All right. And then we have with us Jara, which is your highest potential. Just like how she calls herself, your highest potential, she wants to actually be the catalyst to every individual to resonate, to actually unleash their potential and reach their highest and fullest potential. For myself, I'm Lee. Welcome to our channel. Myself, I'm a trainer and a master coach on the mindset transformation. So what I do is that I help you to see different perspective from the mindset perspective. How do we go about with our life, and how do we unleash our potential? All right. So today's topic is about aligned action. So I would like to start off. We have a face-to-face guest here. His name is Wager. Hello, Wager.
Hi.
Let's see if I can actually turn, or maybe Jara will actually turn. Yeah, let's bring him. So I just want to hear from him, Wager. What's your thought like, or what is it that you resonate when it comes to this topic called aligned action?
Line.
Mm.
Well,
So aligned with the ED, ALIGND, action, just one action. So aligned action. What comes to your mind when you come to know about this topic?
wait, can you spell align?
ALIGND,
Oh, align.
aligned action, ACTION.
All right. So, when it comes to this word, I think the first thing that come across my mind is how do I align from whatever I have on my mind to become a realistic action. I think this is immediate thing.
Right. So it means that what is already in your mind, and how do you align it so that there's an output you can take action?
Yes.
Right. Nice. Nice. What about our lady boss?
Okay, align to me means like support, to have onto same agreement. Because only with alignment, so if you want to use the word alignment, that's fine as well. Only when you and your team or your partner, there is an alignment, then you can achieve a greater thing. That is how I feel about aligned action.
Okay. What about Anthony?
A poor old phrase back from last week, 2 weeks ago, the last time we have live together. Interdependent and independent first, then interdependent. So I think align action very much linked to values. So in a deeper sense, it's quite difficult to people working together unless you really align your values. Really a lot of values and goals and a lot of things. At least not 100%, but 60-70%. There will be more effect, a good effect come out of collaboration.
Interesting. What about Jara? Or highest potential?
Yeah, my name is Jara. Hello, everyone. Good morning. For me, aligned action is the embodiment of what and who you are, translating from your mind into your actions, which is your body. And it is something that is not easy to explain because I didn't realize there was such a thing or concept until I was moving across my transition phase, right? And then I had that feeling of searching and seeking. And then after that, when I realized that I found the right one, it was a intuition that tell me yes before my mind truly caught up. It was like a knowing, and that embodiment is the sure sign for me to, or rather letting me know that yes, I'm on the right track. I just don't know everything yet, and you just have to really trust it. So the alignment for this interpretation is not something that is theorized or in textbooks. It's very personal for me. Yeah.
Okay. So for me, aligned action, it's the action that actually reflects our values, our visions, our goal, right? So when I say values, values means what's important to me, right? In what aspect that I actually choose to focus on in my life. So, for example, right now I choose to be here. I choose to focus in the live TikTok because it's going to be an extension of what I value, which is personal development. All right. So it reflects my value, why I choose to be here and doing this, and then it reflects my vision as well. My vision is what is it that is in life that will be able to put purpose and meaning to each and every one of our actions so that we can purposefully move forward and show up in a way that is aligned with our goals in this different aspect of life. All right. So aligned actions to me is what is it that reflects my values, my vision, my goals. So it is not just about doing more, but doing what's meaningful and purposefully. Just like Rachel mentioned, okay, align means what's in his mind, what is it that he needs to do, just like what Jara also is very personal, and Anthony also mentioned about values, and then our SG lady boss talk about relationship with others, right? When we are aligned, we are actually less resistant and we are much more in flow. You realize that there will be innate energy and there will be innate motivation for us to move forward when we are aligned. All right. So why do we actually struggle to take aligned action? What do you think? Why we actually struggle to take aligned actions? Anybody can just share.
Maybe I share 1st
Mhm.
It's a struggle because we kind of not sure we're not sure how to take micro steps or break it down into steps that make sense that leads to the big outcome. So a lot of us were taught, inverted bracket, to set goals that is not achievable yet, but no one actually knew how to break it down in a way where there is pathways towards that goal. So it's like putting you in a jungle without any concrete for you to walk over the muddy soil. And that process of building up physical level ground for you to keep walking, right, is the tough part because it is a huge question mark in terms of like, you were not experienced enough to you build from scratch. What is it that you can do now in order for you to be able to reach your goals? So that unknown is something that is very difficult to me lah, because it's very personal and every one of us have different forms of beliefs, lifestyle, and also how we want to do it in a way that we feel good about it. And then if along the way we encounter experiences or people that we are not very comfortable with, we also need to make different decisions to continue what's the next path or steps ahead. And interestingly, right, I feel like the process of making decisions is not just a one-way street. It is multiple times, like, there'll be two options in front of you, or there'll be three, or, do you actually have to make the decision to focus only on one or allow yourself to be open to five more? So that's why it's very difficult because you are never going to know what's the next best step. And naturally, we are made, or that's human nature, to be insecure, we want to be safe. And that's a conflict between the mind and our body and our actions lah, in other words.
Hmm. Okay. So I just wanted to check if you all can hear me because I'm testing out and I'm hearing that there's a lot of echo. So I'm trying to mute different people when different individuals are actually talking. Yeah. Any more? Why do we actually struggle to take aligned actions? Vijay, you want to say something?
No.
All right.
Maybe
Anthony wants to share.
I think it's a lot to do with maturity. It's not about age, but it's not about maturity. Of course, a teenager can be very mature. Right? Nowadays, a lot of social media, the teenager today compared to our time is much mature in many things. But at the same time, it doesn't go with age. You can not want to grow up. So when it comes to align, so-called this align action, a lot of time maturity plays a very important part because you realize that a mature person is easier to do this. If I can use this action, right? So it's easier to do. But if you are not that mature, then you are everywhere. You may not even want to do it. I think that is the part. Yep.
Okay. So why do we struggle to take aligned action? It is usually a certain fear, all right? Fear of judgment, all right? The fear of clarity. How do we proceed? Whether our actions are something that will lead us towards the outcome that we want, that we desire, or is it otherwise? Not often than not, we always think of the worst case scenario rather than allowing us to think what's the surprises that's out there that's ready for us to actually embrace, right? The other point is that probably there's lack of clarity and focus. All right, when there's lack of clarity, it means that is this something that is really what you want, or is it something that you think you want it because somebody actually suggested it to you? How do you know whether this is something that you want or it's a suggestion from someone and that you wanted to take it, but you're half-hearted? Find out whether you're actually focusing it or not. Find out is it something that you feel good doing it or not. You know, you can always tune in and check in with yourself. Where do you stand in terms of taking that action? All right. And sometimes why we also struggle to take aligned actions because we overthink and there's this perfectionism in us. All right. When we overthink certain things, overthinkers usually leads to no action because we think keep thinking and thinking and thinking, right? Then you don't take action. The other one is perfectionism. Now, the only thing that is perfect in this world are the imperfections. Anything that is perfect, it's maybe when you talk about practicing piano, for example, okay, you have no mistakes. Yes, you can use the word perfect. But the thing is that how many times do we actually practice or play music or do anything that we can do it consistently like a robot without mistakes? Mind you, robot also make mistakes. Okay? All right. So this is the other third point. The other one, which I think it's what causes a lot to struggle to take aligned action, is the old beliefs and the conditioning that creates the misalignment. Okay, our old beliefs. The old beliefs that no longer serve us and the conditioning. For those who actually followed me and learned NLP, Neuro Linguistic Programming, you will know that these old beliefs and these conditionings are the programming that is already in us. Who we are today, this moment, is a sum of accumulation, is a sum of who we were previously, leading to who we are today. All right. So all beliefs actually surround the values that we already have in us, and beliefs can change. Values can be realigned, but beliefs can change. Beliefs change because of our experiences, because of who we mix with, because of our knowledge, because of our learning, because of our environment. The conditioning is whether we are aware that we are conditioned or we are not conditioned, it's up to our awareness, right? If we are conditioned without realizing that we are being conditioned, we may believe what is true to be our belief system until we realize that I cannot take this action, it just doesn't feel right. It doesn't align. All right. So why we struggle to take aligned actions, four of it that comes up for me is fear of judgment of failure, lack of clarity and focus, overthinking and perfectionism, also old beliefs and conditioning that creates misalignment. All right, let me go through some of the messages here. Happy Girl say, oh my gosh, I recently had this incident. People telling me what they think of me, my strength and all. And they suggest I shouldn't do tarot reading on TikTok or sing. So how do you feel about it? All right, do you think that this is something that you resonate with, you reckon with, or what's your thoughts like? All right, they say that I should go and do Douyin to explore being tour guide to China Chinese instead. Another say too friendly online, shouldn't share too much about self. Right. And Wayne mentioned, oh no, sorry, Gerald Chong mentioned embodiment is important. Right, good, good. Right. I have somebody who actually requested to go live.
Who is that?
Happy Girl.
Oh,
Okay. So, I already accepted. I'm not sure why. Let me try again. Just send the request again. Oops, did I disconnect myself?
Yes, we did.
so
Maybe
bye. You kick yourself out, so we are free to talk.
Okay. All right.
Oops, oops.
Let me just interact with my team again. I need to get back my team.
Wait. I
Sorry,
think
happy
I try.
girl. Let me
Invite,
get
invite.
my team back in.
Not gonna invite you back. Okay, we invited.
All right, thank you. Okay. It's all right. No worries. I'm still
We are
very
friendly
new
for
on-
now.
I'm still very
Next
new
time
on
not gonna
TikTok,
invite
so
you.
pardon me. Really, pardon me. Okay. Yeah. Sorry about that. Okay. So how do we shift to an aligned action? Just now we talked about what is aligned action. How does it? What's the definition? How do we individually resonate with this aligned action? And then what is it that causes to struggle with aligned action? Then how do we shift into aligned action? Anybody? Maybe Lady Boss?
Hmm.
The boss here.
Hi everybody, I'm Nicole. Yeah, I call myself Lady Boss because I do quite a bit of business. Then I think, what should I call myself? Okay, Lady Boss. But I'm not your traditional Lady Boss. But if you want to look for alternative, yeah, we can talk more. All right, so just now we talked about struggling to take aligned action. Right, so somebody edited again. And
Yeah, no, what happened? I hesitate.
And also, sometimes when we talk about unable to take an aligned action is we talk about fear, right? We talk about belief. Sometimes you don't have an aligned belief, and therefore, and then we have fear. There's a lot of factors, and I think the most important thing is no clarity. No clarity is quite a big blockage. I feel a lot of people they think, oh, they have the map, or they have a car, but no GPS, you end up nowhere. So I think that's very important. So to take aligned action, I think of course in the first place you need to have the belief is that in line with your value, your purpose. With that clarity, right, then you are able to map out something, right? You design your own GPS. So a lot of times we don't have to rely on others to design our own GPS. Design your own life. That's very important. If everything you need, guidance, then of course you can't have a breakthrough. But if you are able to have a destination, you already have a car, you just need to, design your own GPS, you're able to get to your destination. So that's how I feel. If let's say you are struggling to take a line action, you need to find out what is stopping you. Yeah. And once you know and identify where is the issue, is it clarity? Is it fear? Is it you lost your purpose in life? Or is it no clarity? Okay, I forgot whether I talked about clarity earlier. Okay, so like we mentioned earlier, our belief can change, right? Because we are the average of the 5 people that we hang out with, right? As mentioned. So sometimes we change because we slowly scale and we move out, we get better. We are into personal development. So maybe the people that I used to hang out with no longer align with what I do, and therefore I feel very hard to move forward. Then unfortunately you need to look for new friends or look for new goals. Someone that will believe in you, you all can take the action together. Yeah, so that's for me.
What about
Skip this one.
Ah, you cannot skip lah. The more you want to skip, the more you want to arrow you. No, I'm just kidding.
Is it you must repeat the question or maybe you forgot?
他自己教我紧。
we will Anthony say he doesn't want to
Okay,
speak, but
I
we
want.
still need to get him to speak. Hang on first.
Okay,
I know
no,
you
we
can
still
speak,
force Anthony.
So how
Okay,
do we shift into aligned actions, right? Aligned
Anthony, you must
action,
speak.
one action at a time. Because just now we talked about why we struggle with aligned action,
If
right?
I know I don't invite you,
Right.
you stop me
So-
from speaking.
So there are 4 of it that we identify, which are the top 4. Fear of judgment or failure, lack of clarity and focus, overthinking, perfectionism, old beliefs and conditioning that creates misalignment. So if we want to take aligned action, all right, especially like in the context of wealth, how do we do that?
How do we shift into the line action?
Yes, how do we shift into aligned action from the wealth perspective, or building our wealth, or finding clarity? How do we start building our wealth? How do we go about defining wealth for ourselves so that wealth serves us, and we can actually take aligned actions towards that?
I think the word says very well, align. So in your life, do you really want to do well? Actually, a lot of people want to get rich, but they may not want to do well in wealth management. It's very different. Everybody say, "Oh, of course, I want to get rich. Why do I want, more money better, right?" But when you come to wealth management, when you come to this part of it, right, it takes quite a bit of hard work, especially you are zero. Especially you don't know anything, it will take quite a couple of years for you to read up, for you to listen, because there's so many things about wealth in this world, especially on the internet. I guarantee you, you start listening now, 3 months later, you realize that 70% are rubbish. But actually, the rubbish, within the rubbish got some question. So it's very complicated. Finance has already come so long way, hundreds of years, this money system. So there's a lot of good, there's a lot of bad, and so the learning curve become very complicated. Just like you go to university, of course, you take 3 years to finish a course, right? But this one is like even, I think, 100 times worse than the university course. Because it's so. Come back to the core is that, do you want to align first? Do you really want to put in the hard work? Do you really want to put in the mindset and say, I want to really do well in for myself, for my family, for maybe your community, maybe you're a church leader, maybe you're a community leader, do you really want to do that? And that is a lot of work. So before you start even shifting the mindset. Mindset.
I have another question. Because recently I have been meeting quite a lot of people, and just on behalf of this individual, you mentioned it's very hard to start from zero. What about those who needs to restart and starting from negative?
Starting from negative, you're talking about basically you have negative cash flow.
Cash flow, assets, your setback. There are few scenarios. It could be the person having a lot of debt, and the other scenario if the person is actually bankrupt. What's the mindset like that the person needs to have, right? Or what are the actions that the person needs to take so that they can actually align their action?
Actually, you realize one thing, this is more than finances of life, right? Whatever point you are at, right? Whatever whatever past is past already. No, whatever yesterday is yesterday. You cannot change.
Wow. Okay. Well.
Yeah,
Yes.
whatever is yesterday is yesterday.
So
Yeah,
let's say
you can't change it. Yeah.
you're bankrupt, like you say. Let's say you're very negative. Then I start from today. What is better than what yesterday?
Starting from the noun, noun presence in the present. All right, the present moment is to give, but when you are so present, you are so present, you bring your presence into the present moment. Starting from the noun, you start the journey right now. Correct? Ah, okay, good, good, good. All right. What else?
So practically, let's say your specific question is people starting from negative or very zero. Then a few days ago, we just had a kind of financial planning game. So that day, one very important lesson we all learned is that one is very practical. So is that start your cash flow, add in your positive cash flow as much as you can. So sometimes, like somebody say, I want to do this online. What just now somebody mentioned they want to do what? What is that? They want to become Wang.
Wang Hong, yeah. Yeah.
Hong
So
personal.
that is probably tied to you want to do better in terms of cash flow. That's good, that is first step, or maybe go and do a practical work, go and work for somebody and earn even $10 per hour, $15 per hour, or you do something can earn much more, but that is first step. So that is better than yesterday. Start something. That's the job.
All right. Thank you, Anthony. All right. Violation has been detected and end life now to avoid. Okay, I'm gonna end it and I'm coming back.
Okay, maybe I just want to add on to what Anthony said. Like, you talk about a lot of people, they actually want wealth, but they do not know where to start. I think this is very true because a lot of times when I start, okay, so for example, if today I want to increase my wealth, I don't know where to start. Then where do I look for? I ask my best friend Google, right? Then Google will start to, pick up the algorithm and then they start to send you people. Like what you say, a lot of time trash just come our way. We do not know who. Yeah, we do not know who.
Yeah, true.
Right?
Well,
Then our advertisement just keep coming and
Yes,
everything, and
yes,
you do not
yes,
know
yes.
who is the real 师傅 to follow.
yeah, correct.
That is why, if let's say for people like me, I'm not financially trained. So for example, I'm not in finance, I don't even study accounting. I even flunked my math from primary school, all the way to secondary school. So it's very tough for people like us, to identify who is the real guru that can help us. Yeah. So I think that is something that maybe we can create more on the awareness side, just to share from, if I'm a newbie today, this is my concern. How do I know that you are good? So I thought that the game that you play will be a very good start where people can come and experience and then to find out, where is my wealth gap? Then I can find out more and then I can do the correct homework. Yeah, so thanks for sharing that. But
Yeah.
kind of like
Nicole is
like
Lady Boss gonna get wealthier. Yay!
Thank you.
So what about Jara then?
Don't feel talking now already. You eat out, then now you just love it.
I get messages from TikTok. I just want to be respectful and follow the rules. Otherwise, I cannot come in and help.
No, okay. I just want to say that how do we shift to align action, right? I feel like there is not enough people who understands what is redefinition and what is challenge the notion. Because I'm not blaming that it's a wrong thing, but it's more of that realization of what's actually going on because you've been sleeping for too long, influenced by a lot of things, like, as what Lady Boss says, right? Trash keeps coming. And then when you're gonna whack by a trash, you're like a bit, what happened? Then actually you are going straight on. Trash whack you turn left, you thought the left is now straight. Am I making sense? To make it a little bit more cartoon. So alignment, as what I mentioned, right? I still go back to the embodiment. You would have actually felt that you got whacked, right? And then when you got whacked, you would have probably realized that you have shifted your degrees a little bit to the left. And that's why I feel like that redefinition, coming back to yourself, finding that clarity from within, not just externally but from internally, it's always a constant measure and a constant shift. If I can say it as like a visualization, right? It's for you to continue to define it in a way where it fits you, what resonates with you. Because sometimes, right, how it's easy and not easy at the same time is because whenever anybody or any so-called mentor, right, wants to come out and like claim that they are actually the right person for you, right, what you can do is find out who actually resonates with you. It's already what it's already inside you. It's not something that you need to suddenly decide that, oh, this is not me but this is me now. If you resonated, if you feel really good and if you feel really comfortable with that person, um, and I specifically highlight that it has to come from a internal sense, because a lot of people are very good at talking and influencing, and whether they can deliver or not is also another uh, huge question mark, right? I mean, why I actually say that, because me and Lady Boss, I went through the most bullshit shit ever. And then funnily, right, if let's say we were to let this trash, right, kick us off course, right, we wouldn't be here today. So we took that as a very valuable lesson, and we decided to take back the power and the responsibility instead of being a sucker and trashed at the person, right? We actually became stronger and moved out of this victim situation. And then we realized, right, actually it's not that difficult, huh? But it took us a little bit longer because we were wondering and thinking too much. Whether should we confront, or whether should we actually take back our responsibility to do something, because this didn't work out for us. So in that sense, right, I feel like it is more of when you become aware and then you realize and you decided, that is a hard, but then once you decided, it's going to be easier because you already decided. And then when you actually get undeterred by moving forward, right, you will know, okay, this is the step forward. And if another trash comes and hit you, right, you are like, shit, what just happened? Then remember to realign yourself back. Challenge, not saying pick a fight, not quarreling for the sake of quarreling, but it's more of challenging yourself. It can be a moment of silence. Strategic inaction is also aligned action, because you decided not to get deterred or distracted by noises. So yesterday we also went to play a game. Also, interestingly, another financial game. A lot of people were just screaming at my ear. I'm like, shut up, let me think. And then I'll decide whether if I want to offer this opportunity to people around me. So you can do that, but I mean do it in a way that fits you. But it's more because there's a lot of shouting. Even at events, right? We have people, squeezing to get their turn. People who don't like to queue up will always come, attend to me, attend to me. Yeah. How do you actually stop all these noises from distracting you? Because you really need to align yourself, shut off yourself from this kind of distraction, and then come back and ask yourself, what is it? What's your redefinition, or what's your definition? How are you being challenged, or how are you actually being influenced? Ask yourself all these are the important steps lah. These are the questions. And then you may not have all the right answers. That's not the point. You don't have the right answers. Nothing is right at any moment. It's more, what do you feel most comfortable? And that's the point where I wanted to touch on the power of becoming, not just doing. Action is not just empty action. The alignment is when you become very powerful, because when you become, it is what it is. You are who you are. And then you will be unapologetically you. And that's where, right, you stand firm even when very good opportunity comes to you, right? You'll be able to say no because you believe in something else, even though this is also good for you. Yeah.
Okay, great. Now, before I go into, I actually have 5 points how to shift into aligned actions. But before I go there, Happy Go actually mentioned back to how do I know if I'm in alignment, and can I say my nervous system feels calm? I listen to my body too. You know you are in alignment where there is no assisted meditation that you actually administer on yourself. but you feel a sense of peace, a sense of quiet confidence, a sense of like, it's okay, I can do it. This is what I reckon with. And yes, your body will feel very relaxed. And it is unshakable. You just have this confidence that, okay, this is what I believe in. This is what I'm tuning to, and I'm aligned. And whatever you tell me, I don't need to react. There's no need to actually turn with you when you're aligned, right? These are some of the experiences that, or these are some of the things that you will feel when you're aligned, right? But feeling in alignment may not be financially good. What if it doesn't pay the bills sufficiently? I think this one I will pass it on to Anthony to answer that. But from the mindset perspective, is even before you talk about alignment, you already have a mindset that it's not financially good, and then it doesn't pay the bills sufficiently. So from a mindset perspective, it's already a limiting decision, a limiting belief therein. How do you know by feeling alignment you will not be financially good or pay the bills sufficiently? Because like what Anthony mentioned earlier on, start from the now, not from yesterday, because you can't change what happened previously. But I'm going to actually extend this question to Anthony so that he can, share from a perspective of wealth, specifically on the financial part. Anthony.
Maybe you rephrase a little bit on your question.
Oh, okay. Happy girl actually say, but feeling in alignment may not be financially good. What if it doesn't pay the bills sufficiently?
Okay, so there's different part of alignment in life, right? So we are talking about you want this to be your livelihood also. This particular thing you are doing to be livelihood also, then you count the cost. You have to count the cost. If it's not able to even support your livelihood, then you become another alignment of your interests. You align for your interest purpose. Then maybe you decide that morning 9 to 5 is working time to earn money. After 5 to at night, or whatever time is your time to align for your interest. So you segregate. I think that's the thing I hear, and that's the answer I can come to my mind. You segregate things properly, align. So there's a different alignment in life. Align your interest. If the interest doesn't make money, then make money first.
Mm. So it means that there are different alignments, so you prioritize your realignment that serves you. So you focus on taking actions on what actually aligns with you, like for example, between interest and making money, for example. What needs to be prioritized first, you do that first. All right? So I probably got swayed by people. It's because I doubt myself and also imposter syndrome. Okay, I'll come to this later on because I would like to bring in this part when it comes to align action, the area where every one of us have. All right, even the gurus, the masters, they all have. They'll call. Okay, we'll come to that, and it's called inner box. All right. Okay. Amy Chima, mental wellness. Hey, Amy says, happy girl is saying hi to you. All right. Okay. Good. All right. Now, shifting to align actions, one way you can actually do that is to clarify your why. What matters and what do you want to experience in life? Ask yourself, what is it that I want to actually experience in life that it matters so much? Find that clarity because you are who you are first before you wear the hat of a lady boss, for example, before you wear the hat of a wealth expert, a brand strategist and positioning, all right, an aspiring NLP coach, all right, a Chiman expert and consultant or mental wellness advocate. Before you wear all this hats, who are you first? Who are you first? What is it that brings fulfillment to your life? What makes you feel happy? What fulfills you to continue living and find that, hey, life is so meaningful, life is so rewarding, life is something that I look forward to every morning when I wake up. Wow, I feel so appreciative of my life and I want to go do something. And what is that something? So clarify on your why. Then the other part is that you want to bring into awareness what is your inner voice versus the external noise. Inner voice versus external noise, right? What is it that you're aware within yourself that you know this is my inner voice, this is external noise? What is it? All right, because action can comes from fear and action can comes from freedom. Actions that comes from fear, you may think that you are actually aligned, but it's actually misaligned with your values, your vision, and your goals. All right, but if it's a fear that's going to motivate you and you still feel that it's aligned, take it. Take it because it is towards freedom. It is towards what is going to actually serves you. All right, so you take action. Ask yourself, is this action coming from fear or is this action coming from freedom? How you can do that, you can tune into your body and intuit. So your intuition. I saw a word intuition here. Yes, Amy, intuition, correct. Awareness of your inner voice comes from intuition. All right, every one of us have a certain degree of intuition. Get that back, search for it, tune back, re-engage with it. All right. Once you get that intuition that you have, when you tune into the body, you know it. You just know it. All right. So when you talk about aligned action, this intuition is something that only serves you. And it's so true that once you tune in, you know that external voice will not matter. It will not bother you anymore. And you will know what are external voices or external noises, what are inner voice. All right. The other part to shift to align action is to identify and your beliefs check. Identify and beliefs check. Do your action reflect the person that you want to be? Do your actions reflect the person you want to be or become? Are you being the person that you already want to be, or are you being the person that you're already going to become? Ask your question there. So identify and beliefs check. Right?
Can you elaborate more on the ask questions whether who you are and who you want to become? Because both of them. And they thought they want to be that, but actually they technically would be aligned if they choose to embrace their fear, to take the action, to be more aligned into who they are becoming.
So in terms of values what's important to you, right? So you have clarity in what you want to actually become. Who are you today? Are you on the journey towards becoming that version that you want to be? The little steps, the intuition, the alignment, the awareness of your inner voice and your external voices were actually external noises. External noise. So inner voice versus external noise. Which are you actually leaning on? And then between freedom and fear, are you coming from a motivation towards or a motivation away from? Because fear sometimes can come up as fear, but it is a motivation for you to go forward. You may not need to actually go against it because fear sometimes, as an intuition, it will be like a something for us to protect ourselves.
Yeah, I can
Alright.
share how this fear feels because I am the motivation away from person to take the first action. And then I already know that I want this, but it's very scary for me. So that is fear that exists. And then when I asked and checked myself, what is this fear about, right? I realized the fear is about not knowing what's going to happen. It's not about what's anything bad that's going to happen to me. So there's a difference there. So not knowing what's going to happen, right, does not mean anything bad is going to happen. And when I realized this fear is like, yeah, I'm good. It's just like I'm not comfortable with what is the unknown. And I also go and do my own homework and reflection and letting myself be okay, because not everything is within our control. And life, if we have this new belief, if you don't have this belief, maybe you can try shifting this belief. Life happened for us, and you can recall moments of when you actually got whacked by bullshit. You came out stronger. Sometimes it requires us to go deep our own past experiences and realize, we are still here leh. Actually, it wasn't that bad, right? So embodiment is also going back to that kind of feeling powerful emotion, that what did not pull you down made you stronger. It's just like, the context or the drama is a little bit different. So from there, right, you kind of move on. So what is something that can be positive now for you to look forward? So there is a quick, not say quick, like, there is a 2-stage shift of what can happen for you, so that, you can still move on somewhat, even though you're fearful. But then at the same time, right, you also know how to plan it in a way where even if you were to fall, you are still cushioned. So it goes back to how much of a risk taker I feel you can accept. Because taking action does not mean you need to swing the other way and go big or go home. Because sometimes if you didn't understand who you truly are, what you are capable of doing, right, you are in for a down, 你自己搞的, just to put it very bluntly, self-sabotage. It's not about other people, it's because of the choices you make. You think you can, but if you are fearful, go baby steps. It's the micro steps that actually can help you. Don't think that I choose to surrender, I'll take this leap and I'll just go the other extreme end. What happens if this didn't really work out? Do you have a backup for it? And then talking about backups, what is that backup that can actually help you to bounce up again more quickly? It is not about just taking action and then realizing, after you fall, right, you don't have tissue paper, your feet get stuck in the mud, you don't know what to do next, you don't have strength to climb up. So what happens, right? So these all have to happen, and in terms of that, right, it is called preparation.
So what is it what actions that you want to take, you can actually have a plan for it. And that goes back to point number 1, where you want to clarify your why. What actually motivates you to wanting to take that action? Is it aligned with your values? Is it aligned with your vision? What is it that is in your values and vision that right now you have this goal and you intend and want to focus on? And then as you do it, emotion comes up. Identify, is this an inner voice that's going to serve you, as in it becomes something to keep you safe, or is it something that allows you to be motivated to go towards? All right? Or is it just an external noise? Because I tell you, a lot of people will share their opinion. They will give you suggestions. They will actually give you a 2 cents. But what you want to know is that, is this an external noise? External noise doesn't mean it's good or bad, but you want to be able to discern whether this serves you or doesn't serve you. All right, and practice. And yes, I like the word intuition, because if you are able to actually connect with yourself, you are able to use this intuition as a tool, as a guiding tool for yourself. You will be able to discern whether this is an inner voice or this is an external noise. All right. So taking action from freedom or from a space of fear, you will know whether this is a motivation towards or motivation away, thus managing your fear. All right. Because fear is also an emotion telling you that how much I resonate to this action, to the context that I'm facing. And when that happens, you want to take the actions knowing that you are okay to face the consequences, including accepting the surprises that will come from the actions that you take. because life happens for you and not to you. You know, sometimes people will just say, yeah, things will only happen to you because you are already capable, you already level up, you can actually face up to this challenge. It's new life lessons that you can take. The challenge will not show up if you are not there and you're not ready to pick up the challenge. So it's about mindset. All right. And in doing so, number one, clarify your why, awareness of your inner voice versus your external noise, identify and release check. The fourth one is your daily calibration. You want to ask yourself, is this in alignment with the life I'm creating? I am who I am today because of who I was last time up to today. My thinking, my programming up to today. What is it that I'm creating to become who I want to become next? Ask yourself this question. Is this in alignment with the life I'm creating? So what kind of life you want to live, thus what kind of life you're creating towards? What's the purpose in life that you want to bring to your life so it becomes meaningful? You don't go search for purpose and meaning in life, but what is the purpose of you doing what you're doing so that life becomes meaningful to you? Ask yourself that. If you don't know what you have been doing previously, has already tells you that it's an accumulation of some choices and actions that you already taken up to today, and you have purposefully taken it in a manner that results to the meaning of life that you are living today, isn't it? So if we start from now, like what Anthony said, what actions you want to take? How do you want to purposefully live your life so that you can actually bring in the meaning that serves you, that is the meaning of your life? In other words, writing the story of your life. All right? So you want to know life, the fifth uh, uh, the fifth point, shifting into aligned action. The fifth point is progress over perfection. What aligned action that you always take, you know? And this aligned action, mind you, it's often imperfect, but it is intentional. It's often imperfect, but it's intentional. We spoke about perfectionism earlier on, right? So the only thing that is perfect in this world are imperfections. The only thing that is constant are changes. All right? Or the only thing that is constant is change. So in that, aligned action should be taken, should be identified, should be taken, and then it's often imperfect but intentional. All right? Doing is much more important than perfectionism. Movement is much more important than paralysis. All right? So I would like to take this moment to actually welcome four more guests who actually came to the room. One of which is Amy. Amy, welcome. Happy Girl says that she knows you. If you were to know her, she still say that you are somebody in achievement and mental wellness, and you are great because you have actually overcame schizophrenia, and you uses Qigong to help you progress in your life. And yeah, she's a achievement expert here. So feel free to ask questions. Yeah, and then we also have Jennifer. Jennifer.
Let's show Jennifer's beautiful face. This girl, come. Yeah, lime green today.
Yeah, she's hungry. She's an advocate for change, and she, together with Wayne, both of them are very sincere and kind individuals. They like to help people, and they actually advocate for growth, change, and be who you are. Continue to do good, bring good, and enjoy life, right? So they wear many hats. So if you have any questions, just feel free to bring it out and ask.
Talk some more.
Natural.
Yeah.
All right. And then we have another gentleman there. If I may actually ask you to share with us, introduce yourself. Yeah.
Hi, hello everyone. I'm Raymond. Yeah, so I'm a solopreneur. So I do a lot of corporate training programs, I do coaching. Yeah, so my expertise is the 4 elements. Can see on my fingernails. So,
What's that? So
Yeah.
cool. 4 elements is in the
4 elements about human behavior. So I brought it to the corporate training. Thank you.
What are those?
nail art.
Yeah, actually we can chat later because we have this hybrid session between 10:30 to 12:30. 12:30 onwards we have networking for those who actually come face to face. Yeah. So maybe I could just take this time to actually hear out from the attendees who just came. What does aligned action means to you, or what resonates with you when it comes to this topic called aligned action? Maybe Raymond, corporate training.
Well, yeah, so for me, then I really resonate with the word actions. So I'm the person that always, in fact, that sometimes when people come and talk to me, and they have a lot of great dream, plans, intentions. So I always tell them that, okay, all these are all very good. So however, where are your actions? Yep. So I'm very much there agree with what you just said about aligned actions. So once you have your plans, your intentions, and most importantly, is really about align your actions with what you want to do. Yeah, I always agree with that.
Yeah, align your actions
Thank
to
you.
with what you want to do. Right. Very good. Well, what about Jennifer? Well, Jennifer have to think first.
No, because I have to wait.
What do you want to do?
Wow, wow.
Wait, I must, I'm waiting for.
Okay,
Three,
then
two,
we,
one.
we go to Amy.
Okay, Amy.
Our Chimendunjia expert. Yeah. What does aligned action means to you?
To me, in Ximendunjia, you can actually see a line action in the 4 rounds, which is the Chinese it says 天地人神. The English is means like the heaven, earth, man, and the universe. It also means the heavens is the thoughts, our thinking. The earth is our emotions, and the sands are our outcomes, and also the spirit or the universe is our intention. So it's quite similar to what Brother Raymond said about the actions and intentions. Yeah.
Hmm.
So yeah, I will like to share more in the future when I do more research.
Well, yeah.
Thank you.
So it's aligning the mind spirit, all right, together with our environment. And in other language, in where I actually practice NLP, we call it the conscious mind, the unconscious mind, and the higher conscious mind. So the unconscious mind are what actually support us as who we are as a human being. Whatever that we do, including breathing, blinking of eyes, and all that, they are all unconscious. These are the unconscious mind. The conscious mind is our thinking mind. So you want to align actions, right? Use your thinking mind. You want to be able to consistently carry out your actions and have the motivations, including tapping into your intuition. That's your unconscious mind. All right. And your relationship with your environment. That's the highest conscious mind. All right. So aligning that. Yes, definitely we will talk about mind, spirit, action, and the alignment of mind, spirit, action. What else? The other one?
I mean, it's the
Man.
Yeah.
Man. Yeah. Right.
I
So
feel
forgot.
so,
Yeah.
to be honest.
So yeah, correct. So we have heaven, earth, the universe, as well as
And then Earth, universe, and
Stands.
stands.
okay. All right. So we will come to that once we actually do our homework and share more. And please feel free to share with us your thoughts on that. All right. Now going back to Jennifer and Wayne.
Action.
this place called two evidence pack. Basically, just contact it. Okay, if you have not drink whiskey with us, contact.
So your earth element is very high.
But my fire element is higher.
So now we are mixing up the elements and all that. Yeah, 5 elements, 5
And
elements,
alcohol. Wow. Come for the drama, okay? Just come for the drama. We don't need you don't need anything else.
It was a great conversation that we had, and then we were talking about we really wanted to do this awareness thing, pairing out with whiskey. I thought that was a very good idea. It just happened last Friday. Yeah, it just happened last Friday. Yeah, then I was just saying that okay, let's just make it happen, and then within Saturday, Sunday, Monday, post it out. Just go and do it.
Yeah, aligned action. Because the thing for me is that in addition to the 5 elements, I always actually talk about the 5 senses when it comes back to our sense. And whatever we resonate with our environment is through our senses. And these senses has its dominance at any point in time. So when I talk about self-awareness, when we do this, it means that, okay, our relationship with the food that we take, our relationship with the drinks that we drink, our relationship as we converse on daily basis, at which point in time are we aware and are we actually in tune with the senses that we use? Okay, at what timing or how much are we in tune with the senses that we use at any point in time? So consciously, we want to bring in whiskey because the complex texture, the smell of it will bring up different resonance to the programming that we already have prior, which means the emotions, the memories, and all that when we try this whiskey. So when we have this conversation, so I was challenged by Jennifer. Oh my God, I laugh until I'm so teary. Yeah, so I was challenged by Jennifer to actually do it. Thank you for encouraging me. So it's happening on Friday. It's at 2 Everton Park in one of the winery distributor. So the poster will be up later on, and I would like to ask Jara, the highest potential, to help me key in the details later on. All right. So that's that. Shifting into aligned actions. So the other thing, other than joining our this Monday chit chat session, getting to know each other, learning from each other. There's also other workshops and programs that we come up to actually do up with this grown up initiative that encourages every one of us to interact and learn from each other, learn from a perspective of mindset, taking actions, wealth building. How do we position ourselves, especially if we are self-employed, entrepreneur, solopreneur? Okay, how do we go about in positioning ourselves? Right, it's inside out, understanding what's important to us, our values in different sector in life, in different areas in life that we are focusing at any point in time. All right. So I didn't hear from Wayne actually. I just want to
She can
know
run, but she cannot
what
hide.
does aligned action means to you. I'll come back. I'm very clear now.
For me, my action.
Yeah, you can come back and talk.
It's more like you do the things that you say you need to do, but with the heart of doing it.
Do the thing that you say you do, and then with the heart of doing
I
it.
mean, it's like
Wow.
就是用心去做东西。
用心去做东西，很好啊。You know，做东西一定要
用心
很用心去
It's
做
more
啊。
like using your heart to do this instead of using your mind to do it.
Then you don't need to use your.
I mean, it's a different thing lah. It's like a lot of times like you keep on thinking about things but you don't do it. And then it's like, if you come from a space where you from yourself that you really want to do it, then there'll be aligned actions now. That's what I mean. Because a lot of times like you think too much or you expect like, you do for the sake like you think of what other people expect, then you just do it, then it doesn't align with what you initially want.
So it means that you will tune into your heart, what resonates with you, and then from there, from the heart space, you will take the action.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. Okay. All right. So I would like to ask those on the floor, and including the highest potential, right? Yeah. What other things that you think, in addition to these 5 points, clarify your why, awareness of inner voice versus external noise, identify and beliefs checked, daily calibration and progress over perfection. Any other points?
Yes.
On shifting into aligned action. Yes, yes.
Yes. So I have a few points. I mentioned let go of what you can't control. So that is the process of being aligned, like finding your alignment. But I want to highlight alignment isn't consensus. Your alignment does not require everyone to agree, only just to commit after voicing their views. Because the flavors that we actually deliver is different. We are unique. We don't expect people to, follow word for word or step by step. And actually, it's quite weird, like if people were to just take it. Like I literally did see someone, is a guy somehow, he copied word for word. Then I was like nuts about it because I'm like, this guy, is he even aware he's doing that? I mean, I don't know lah, maybe his mentor encourages him, but ultimately I did see his mentor saying, do not use it word for word. Then I was like, wow, really common sense is not that common. But consensus is not an expectation, but it's more of what is it that is common in our goals that is of like a bigger dream level, right? And then from the flavors and delivery and execution, right? What is I wouldn't say majority lah, but what works for some of us, we can, at least agree to commit to move forward without having to, tear down our own ambitions. So that's what I wanted to highlight. If you have any points to add on before I move on to the next point.
Wow, she has the next point. Okay, wait.
I think a few points.
All right.
You're going to not allow me to talk, is it? I'm just not going to follow.
No, please share
No,
the next
is
point.
there any point? No, right? Okay. So alignment requires saying no. That's what I actually mentioned. A lot of voices, a lot of opportunities, very good, sound very good. Okay, so what I wanted to break it down into little micro steps is, if you're underexposed, go ahead and say yes. But if you're overly exposed, learn how to say no. Why you laugh?
I agree.
Okay.
Okay.
Because when you actually have been exposed enough, and then you have at least have some information or some types of interests or passion or competence or skill sets that you would like to go deeper, right? You really must have the courage or the conviction to say, no, this is not for me. I will do it in the way that I am focused on and driven on. Because life is very interesting, or rather, if you are in entrepreneurship and if you are in a solopreneur, freelancer kind of work style, right? It is very interesting because if you haven't found your answers, you would tend to, go everywhere, but ultimately you end up nowhere. But if you are very convicted, right, the process of going through the entire journey is not a linear one, which means once you do step A, it does not mean it will bring you to step B naturally. But it will also require you to hone your patience across an X number of time, because what you believe in may not happen at that moment that you wanted it to. So in this sense, right, trusting yourself and the actions and the competence of delivery, right, will need you to keep pushing through the times when you doubt yourself, when you actually think and thought that this is something that the market or clients don't like. Or is it in the way that you are delivering it not fitting what people are willing to pay for? Or is it just not the right timing? Don't ask me to repeat because I cannot repeat in the exact same manner, but take note of these points. There's a video replay, so it's okay. Take note of these points, because if you are not aware of what's happening in the world of entrepreneurship, right, you are going to be learning the lessons the very tough way, the longer route. But if you understand what are the elements of all this in play, right, you will know you will keep pushing on even when you feel like some days you don't feel like showing up. So is what we are doing now is aligned action is like, I'm pretty sure, right, when we go deeper in our discovery of each other, right, we will definitely have something that we like and something that we don't like. So instead of, trying to figure out, right, and fit everybody's timing, right, we decided we set this twice every month on Monday, and we don't have to bother whether like, hey, those people working can make it or not. They want to make it, they make it. It's online. If they want to join us in another session where we have other plans coming up, right, they are free to ask. And like if there's anything coming, like what Jennifer shared, right, we have a whiskey face-to-face live alcohol drinking session. Get drunk, get high, or go continue sleeping, or go home, up to you. It's something that we have taken the initiative to organize. It's not like you must wait for us to organize it. It's more of what is it that you want, let us know, and if we can support, because we also have a lot of things to do, right? We would probably tell you no. But if you feel like it, you could get a yes. You just have to ask. But if you don't have the initiative to ask, then it's a maybe, it's a never gonna happen. So that's what I wanted to say. Alignment requires also saying no, not only just on saying yes. Using gratitude as fuel for aligned action. So the world happens for you, life happens for you. Using or practicing gratitude actually helps you to deconstruct your ego. Because so the world of business is very interesting, right? I actually experienced this a lot of times myself. So whenever I go in and talk to people of high level, right, they would actually talk down to me with their past successes and just dismiss me because I'm just somebody who don't know better, right? Then I'm like, oh, okay, lor, they forget they're actually in the wrong era. We'll see. In Chinese, we will say 走着瞧吧. Right. So maybe I have a high level of confidence. So I really don't care what they think. It's more of I'm very focused. I know what I wanted, and I just wanted to make it happen. And if anybody were to come in and throw trash at me, right, I will also take in as like, if it's valid feedback, I will know. Because technically all these negative feedbacks that you don't want to hear, right, is also part of the market insights. You can't deny that. And if those people are the people who you are looking to convert into your clients, take what resonates and leave what doesn't. Because if you feel personally attacked, then it's going to throw you off course. Your energy is going to get lowered or affected, right? And then you cannot, as what I said, you wanted to go straight. Trash comes to you, you throw, you steal, and then you thought that was a straight way forward. And then you're walking further away from your path. So come back to your own internal GPS, practice gratitude, and realize that, oh, these people did not give me a very good feedback. But actually, you know what? They have a point. Be humble and be grateful enough for people to want to give you these 2 cents of worth. And then see if it works in the alignment of what you're actually taking action on. And then you can motivate or continue to find people who can support and motivate you. Because I tell you, toxic positivity is real, because a lot of people don't know how to give you critical or crucial or constructive feedback. They were like, go for it, but they actually don't know better. They don't understand what you're trying to do. And then their encouragement will actually move you further and further away from what's the right path at that moment in time. So it sounds very complex, but once you're aware, because I wanted to highlight what is it that you need to be aware about, so you know what are the terms or considerations that you can bring in as part of your thinking process, as part of your decision-making process, right? So as what I wanted to share, right, the next point is tune into signs and intuition. Whether is it your own gut feeling, whether is it synchronicities, whether is it the subtle cues, right? It all can be trained. It is not an inborn thing. Because when you pay attention, right, the reason why you wasn't in tune because you switch off your awareness. You decided to sleep your life away, then that's on you because you decided to do that. But once now you actually are hanging out with us and we actually highlighted this and bring you to awareness, right? Now you are going to start paying attention to all the little signs and the little cues. Some people call it body language. Some people call it listening among active listening or listening in between the gaps. These are all little parts of it. how do you actually hone this into your gut feel ultimately? Even though your mind may not be able to process it at any time because you don't know what you don't know. And other people are actually teaching you along the way. Because when they are actually teaching you from their own perspective, in their own profession or their niche, the language they use is actually very different. But what they're actually mentioning, or maybe what they're actually working towards, it could be very similar to yours. Only if you decide and bother to connect deeper, instead of dismissing it as rubbish, you know. Unless your body is screaming at you, like giving you red flags, right? Then you just decided to ignore it. Then if you gonna trash again, then you learn from it, like, you know, it's not a wrong thing, but it's not a pick yourself up and then realize, reflect, oh, this is what happened. You didn't listen to it. So following your intuition, right, will also help you to be a little bit more aligned into your inner clarity, I would say, because we've been talking a lot about clarity, right? So as I wanted to touch on, revisit and realign regularly. It is not a one-off decision. Life is not a one-way ticket. There are many ways that lead to your your room or wherever you want to go, right? And it is not clarity. I mentioned before, a lot of people thought that clarity is like, oh, I found clarity, I want to do this now. I'm like, huh? Then when we ask them to come back for class, for refreshment, for brainstorming, for my sessions, right? No, I've been there. Then I'm like, okay, yeah, they're totally not getting it. Alignment is not a one-time decision. Why? Because time is constantly changing. Context is constantly evolving. VUCA, you know what is volatile, what is uncertain, right? It's constant, it's getting faster because technology is really faster. So if you get sucked onto the technology bandwagon, it's not a wrong thing. But I tell you, you'll always be chasing the headlights. You'll never be faster than them. So what is it? Come back to yourself. Because only when you're sure yourself, right, you will only be able to take the initiative and you will be able to take the lead, right? Not micromanaging, not oppression, not dictating like a, I don't know, whatever you want to fill in the blank, but come back to yourself and lead yourself properly, okay? So that's the points that I wanted to highlight. And if you have any add-on points from the audience and Lynn, please feel free to go ahead. And Anthony, very quiet, Anthony.
You got many points, ma. That's why we listen.
Such a gentleman.
Oh, yeah.
Today we have very nice 3 gentlemen here, so yeah. Please feel free to share your thoughts, share with us your experiences as and when, right? So I just wanted to add on a little bit to what the highest potential actually shared. Her name is Jara.
Happy
by
girl
the way.
always cannot hear me, leh. I think
I unmute
you.
already.
Oh,
All right. Because I thought you're not muted there. All right. So anyway.
I'm not muted at mine.
Yeah. So if I can just add on a little bit more on what highest potential actually shared, or Jara actually shared, is that every one of us walk our own journey. How do we know whether we are overexposed or underexposed? We won't know, but the benchmark is we ask ourselves, what is it that I'm experiencing right now? And how is it serving me in terms of where I am right now? So it means to say that once you choose an area of life to actually focus on, be it wealth, be it personal development, be it relationship, be it spirituality, right? Be it family even, whichever area that you choose to focus on at a point in time, the benchmark, the gauge will always be, how was I previously, and am I better today? Am I going to be better tomorrow? And how do I go about that? Right? So you always go back to yourself. There's no measurement of whether, or no direct measurement of whether you're overexposed or underexposed in certain things, because every one of us resonates with our environment differently in different contexts. So here I would like to actually bring us to the inner blocks that every one of us have. Whether you're a master, you're a student, you're a janitor, you're a CEO, it doesn't matter. Every one of us have that. So what are the inner blocks? Number one is craving or distraction, because we are very attached to our cravings. Number two, emotional baggage. What are the emotional baggages that we allow ourselves to carry? Number three, it's the mental chatter that we have. What is it that we have been chattering with ourselves? Are we aware? Or we have always been chattering and also allowing the external noise to disturb our peace? All right. Number four, it's the energy drain. What is it that we have been doing every day that we allow our energy to be drained? When you talk about energy drain, there are many interpretations of energy. One of which that you can tag on is where are your focus? What are you focusing on? All right. And then the other one is doubt, the self-doubt spiral. All right. If I may take a little bit of time to actually explain every one of it, because I have in each of these points questions that perhaps can actually help you to do some reflection or tune back to yourself and ask yourself, is this inner block blocking me right now for me to actually exercise my intention and choose my focus so that I can actually go out to become the next best version of myself and achieve the goals that I actually set? Because once you set a goal, you will know that you will come from a space of what aligns with you in terms of your values, what's important to you, and what vision you have in life. Who do you want to become? Because you, being who you are right now, in the present moment, your presence make the difference. All right? Your presence make the difference in the present moment. All right? So the first one, which is the craving and distractions. Craving and distractions comes from when we are actually seeking a lot of pleasure, a lot of stimulation, including escaping from something. What is it that what is the stimulation that you're going into? Okay, it keeps you very reactive instead of creation mode. So when you're very stimulated, you ask yourself, am I actually, attaching to it, and am I very reacting to it, or I'm actually moving on into a creative mode? Because creation is the nature of life. Creation comes from who you are right now in the present moment, in terms of your intention, your knowledge, and your wisdom towards the what is it that you are actually focusing on, the action that you're taking on. All right. And then, if let's say you are reactive, what are the things that you want to do so that you can actually scale back and go back to your creation mode? How do we do that? You can ask this question. It is called, is this serving my bigger intention? Is this serving my bigger intention? All right, the next point is emotional baggage or emotional baggages. All right, it is about carrying resentment, the blame, the anger, the hurt, the unresolved hurt. They do it to me like, it's them like, they hurt me. All this, ask yourself, if I were to focus on that, just like Anthony mentioned, start from now. But if I were to focus on that, it means that in the present moment, my presence is actually focusing on in the past. I'm actually channeling my energy to the past. So it makes it very hard for me to move forward. Why? Because all my focus and attention is towards past. I am actually not really taking care of my emotions, but allowing my emotions to evolve. But if you are responding and you want to take action to actually manage these emotions, do it. How do we do it? You can do journaling, you can talk to somebody, find your way to actually regulate your emotion. That is another topic that we can actually talk about another day. All right. So ask yourself this question: what can I do now to move my life, my energy forward? What is it that I can choose to focus on right now so that I'm intentional to doing things purposefully and bring meaning to my life, the meaning of life that I want to have in my life. All right. The other one is the energy drain. How do you know that your energy is actually drained? How do we know? You feel uncomfortable, you feel sluggish, uninspired, and this thing, very true. Every one of us have procrastination. All right. Energy drain comes in when we procrastinate, when we are mentally foggy. All right. When you know you're in this phase, what do you want to do? Because if you don't do anything about it, right, it will lead to inertia and missed opportunities, and we don't want that. Right? We want to be able to manage our energy. So one way, the conscious mind is to go back to our intention. Ask yourself, what's my intention for the day again? What's my intention for the day again? What should I choose to focus on right now, this instant? My intention will actually allow me to actually realign myself, and I take my aligned action to choose my focus henceforth. All right. So go back to the intention. Take every little steps intentionally, even if you derail, because sometimes we couldn't focus on something 24 hours. Sometimes we will be a bit like, okay, we need rest, we need time out, and it's okay. But go back to the intention. Take one small different steps to actually allow ourselves to be in the creation mode, and do that. All right, re-engage with ourselves. The other one is the mental chatter. So the mental chatter will comes in like when you start overthinking, when there's anxiety, when there's constant comparison, when the inner voice just couldn't shut up. When that happens, you know that, oh no, what do I do? What are the hints? What's the impact? And you realize that you start things and you couldn't complete them. So you start things, you cannot complete. Anybody resonates with that?
Me. No, actually I don't. I actually complete things. But why I resonate is because my mother always says, 你每次半途而废, 你每次半途而废, 你每次半途而废. I'm like, no, mother, it's not true. So then when I grow bigger, right? You know, like that time I grow older, bigger, right? So then I will show. I actually wanted to validate this statement for myself. I remember it very clearly because it actually went through my reflection points. And then I actually proved to myself, most importantly, not to her, that I'm not like that. The reason why I actually stopped, right? I remember, like, in drawing classes, in piano classes, we take up as kids, right? We quit is because a lot of friends quit. Then we just follow, but it's not you. You didn't know better. I actually like it, but then when I realized I'm just one of the two left, right? Then I'm like, okay, I also don't want to learn. But when you were younger, you didn't know what the hell is happening, right? That's where I realized it. So, you have to challenge the notion, which I actually mentioned very early on in this life, and bust the myth yourself. Because it was in the aligned action part, right? It goes back to first, who are you, what you are about, what you want to become.
Okay.
Yeah. So I don't resonate in, I don't do 半途而废. If I want to do, I do, but I complete it in a way that's like, you know what, I just have enough already. But at least complete stage.
It can be you do the things already, right? After that, suddenly you don't like it. You don't like
Correct,
it.
correct.
Change, ma.
Yes, correct. So either you improve it, but you're not 半途而废. You didn't let go, ma. You actually changed the version of it. You just edited it 2.0.
Yeah, you can just give up.
Yeah, so to me, that is not 半途而废 because I redefined it. So that works. That is for me lah. So to me, right, I know when I redefined it and I still continue on the journey, it's just that the methods are different. But that doesn't mean my objective changed. Yeah. So that's where I realized I'm not a 半途而废 because I wanted to bust the myth of somebody putting this label on me, which is my mother. Yeah. So this is something that I remember very clearly, and it became like maybe an ingrained value in or action oriented person to prove, bust the myth, challenge the notion, bust the myth, redefine. So redefinition will be the second step to busting the myth. As what you say, you don't like it, like sometimes it is still what you want, but you just don't like the way it's being done. That's why we just change the techniques and the methods. The cost is still the same.
But it can be one time that you totally think that it doesn't resonate and change.
Yes, you can also. So if let's say you still want it, you can actually streamline and edit it and revise it. Because there will be some parts that you still like, some parts that you don't like. So you need to be like more detailed and more clear on what exactly is it that you don't like. Is it really the big picture and the goal that you don't like? Or is it some of the techniques or the people or the way that it's happening at the moment? Sometimes it's not the right timing. You can revisit it again. But that doesn't mean you gave up on it. It's just not at the right moment, But you really, really, really still like it. So then either you find more answers as you go along the seeking your answer journey, or maybe the methods that you wanted fits you best. It hasn't surfaced to you yet. Because we don't know a lot of things, ma. So we only have to find out what we don't know, and then we realize, oh, actually, this is a better way. Then we revisit again, no? But is it 半途而废? No, we just pause. That's their definition, ma. So when I redefine it very clearly, who are you to say that I'm wrong? Right. Okay, so that's what it is.
If I may
you know the guy.
I think it's also you want to bring in some discernment here. Okay, it's context dependent. So in a lot of things that we do it with people around us, right? Even if you want to stop halfway, it's not a hard stop. You must discern and decide how you want to transition. All right, it is more about transitioning because I give you an example in the context of a project. If we were to actually come together to do a project, it is important for us to know what role we play. All right. And if we want to be able to excuse ourselves from that roles, we must do a proper handover. We must ensure that the bigger picture, the project carries on, even if we were to excuse ourselves. All right. We don't just put a hard stop. Oh, I don't want to do it. And it doesn't resonate with me right now. Then I don't want to do. You want to be able to discern to what context. If it's project, especially if it's a high risk project, I don't think you want to do that because the whole boat can just sink because of one decision or one person pull out. We don't do that. So it's really context dependent. But in the context of personal development, in your pursuit of what is it that you want to actually achieve in life, and the risk, as in it is not at the expense of others, and you want to take a step back, why not? Why not? Because you are accountable to your own actions. You take responsibility for the approach and the type of life that you want to live. As long as it is not at the expense and doesn't hurt yourself, people around you, your people that you love, the society, even the planet, I think it's good. So the word here is ecological. Is it ecological? All right. And this actually comes from your programming, how much you know in terms of your knowledge and your values as well. All right. In the role, in the hat that you wear for that context. That's why when we come together to do something together, we want to be able to discern. Does this person's values resonate with me? And does the strength, capabilities, the skill set, for example, does it complement what is it that we are going to do together as a team for this project? All right, for this initiative, how do we move forward? Because at any point in time, you want to be strong internally as a team to face the external things that can change. That's out of our hands, right? We can only control what we can and manage what we cannot. If we are not strong as a team, we are not aligned, it's very hard to face the challenges outside. So you're fighting inside, you're fighting outside. It can be very draining, and that's where a lot of things, these are called the external noise that I mentioned earlier on. We want to shift from non-aligned action to aligned action, become much more challenging. And when it becomes much more challenging, it can be very, very draining. Because don't forget, we don't function alone. We live with people who are around us. All right, hurt people. If you are not there, you are not peaceful, and you come from a space where you are hurting, consciously or unconsciously, you will hurt another person. So know how to manage the internal ecosystem of yourself. All right, and these 5 inner blocks that I'm bringing in are the main blocks that every one of us have. It's just a matter of degree and in terms of what context. All right. There and then I would like to bring to the last point, which is the self-doubt spiral. The doubt that we have, right? The second guessing ourselves, the doubting our own path, or waiting for certainty. You wait for something to feel certain, then you move on, right? That is doubt. The impact is paralysis by analysis or no action taken. All right, this is also another block. So one way to do is, or to question ourselves is that what is the one step or what is the one thing I can do differently right now so that I can shift my focus? What is that one thing? All right. I remember that this word confidence always come up when we talk about all these things. So I would like to say that confidence is built through doing, taking one small step and gathering evidence to what you're capable of allows you to build the inner confidence. So do that. All right. So the 5 inner blocks are craving and distraction of cravings, the emotional baggages, the energy drain, the mental chatter, and the self-doubt spiral. All right. So think about it. If I have these inner flaws, every one of us have. Don't tell me you don't have. I also have. Every one of us have. At any point in time, which one dominates? Okay, which one's dominant? Okay, we all carry inner blocks. They are not flaws here. In fact, they are the flags. Not white flags, but flags for us or signals for us to actually tell us that we have drifted from alignment. All right. So once we see them, how do we realign ourselves again so that we can intentionally choose to focus on and align our action with clarity towards what is it that we desire to achieve. Okay? So with that, I would really want to hear some other sharings. What are your thoughts from the beginning until now? What we have come about, and what's your takeaways like? Yeah. So the hands very high. So yeah.
I just want to highlight what you mentioned about transition, right?
Mm.
This is a key point where, transitions are often very blurry, very blind. It's like a very big blind spot. But transitions is something that is very important to actually every one of us because we are works in progress. We are growing and we are taking steps towards what we want, our desired outcomes, who we want to be now, midterm, or future, right? I wanted to highlight that the reason why we are actually doing this is not just for the public, it's actually a lot for ourselves because we took the initiative to come together, right, to really work through our own transitions, however or whatever level we are at. And I feel like transitions is not something that is being talked about, and also a lot of people are not sure where they need to go or how to move forward because a lot of career shifts are happening, life changes are happening, and a lot of radical mind shifts need to happen right now, especially when you are a corporate leadership versus personal leadership versus entrepreneurship on a bigger scale of your startup, for example. And it's very misunderstood and very underestimated. So I wanted to highlight that transitions is not a bad thing. It's actually a good, exciting journey. Treat it like a roller coaster ride. It is your chance now to redefine your normal. I'm very excited about the change in technology. I wouldn't say it's the last time. It was blockchain then. It was Web3. It was NFT. That was the hype, but that doesn't mean it went away. Now it's actually artificial intelligence. Yesterday, I just saw a social media saying that editing humans is possible. Then I'm like, oh wow. So a lot of people are having a lot of doubts about what's going to be happening with technology, but it's also one of our chance to level the playing field. If you really actually haven't understood that, right, now is your time to level up your playing field because what has been defined before, great credits to them. Corporations have been built, leaders have been groomed, but right now it's a chance to step up because there is no right or wrong. And if you already are aware right now, right, you can start redefining, you can start new habits, break out of your old routines that is not serving you anymore. and start looking for your group of people to help you. You're in your transition. And what you have to do right now before you move on to your next transition of aligned action, right? Sometimes it's not just action, 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 because action can be a misleading word, but in a way where sometimes it's the action of pausing, going back into yourself, or finding out where's your compass really at. You have to realign, adjust, use some screwdriver, and I don't know, just discard it and find a new one. It's fine, okay? So it's not about giving up halfway. It's about knowing how to streamline and using your best energy. You know, the 80-20 rule still applies. The moment where you actually have your best energy is going to help you to achieve the most 80% of what you want to achieve. So be smarter, use that. Understand where is your best timing, best energy at. Get all the difficult things done at that moment. The rest will just fall in place. Okay. So in that sense, right, your body will know before your mind, because a lot of the times we are actually being bound by logic. Logically, it should be like that. By right, it should be like that. You should be like that. You should not be like that. What should now? Everything is different. You know, if last time you were in the industrial era or the agriculture era, should is valid lah. That time lah. But now, right, as what Anthony mentioned, right, it's now. What is now happening? Understand what is happening around you. If you ever take a step back and understand what is happening, observe without doing anything, it's fine. It's also part of the process. Okay, and then you can outgrow advice, even good advice, because for me, I already come through a lot of so-called advisors, right, who say things that has worked for them before, right? Nowadays, the youngsters, right, I think Wager can relate, like old-fashioned. Okay, only the old-fashioned will know what they want to talk about because they have achieved their success then. But bridging into new leadership, bridging into younger youths, the leaders of tomorrow. Are you really sure that the old ways are working right now? Right? So be humble. We all have to be humble enough to understand, right? And consider from different perspectives of what is it specifically that fits the context, that the details that can now be filled in. You can outgrow advice, even good advice. Because once you understand that advice is often given from personal experience, and the person giving the advice is also aware that this is my personal experience, take what you resonate, leave what doesn't, and go and find out the answers yourself, right? I think it's an empowering way. I feel that's an empowering perspective to help you in your transition, moving towards where you want, nearer, one step at a time. Okay, so I know you will feel like, some emotional discomfort, turbulence. These are all signs and your red flags teaching you what you like, what you don't like. Is it the right method? Is it the wrong method? Are you going to continue on, or are you going to stop or wait? These are not bad things. These are just signs for you to understand yourself better, whether you should pause or whether you should change methods or whether you should totally stop and take a break. These are actually your emotions that will help you about what you value most and what you need most. And I wanted to highlight that, you can even create a small prototype for whatever you want to. If let's say you have big dreams, right, you can start with a small prototype, a very low risk one, instead of, making a big leap, because that is how you actually cushion your steps, manage your risk. If you are remotely interested in any topic, ask around or, volunteer and find out more about what is it that makes this niche work in that moment of time. And then when you understand more, only then you'll be able to start, leading or creating that, as what Lynn mentioned, right? So transitions actually has a lot of steps to move around or forwards. So, at every moment, right, your support system is very important, because transitions, in moments of transitions, we are very vulnerable. We are easily easily defeated. So the ones who supported you before may not be the ones you need now. Be very clear. Be very clear. Be very clear that the ones who give you emotional support may not be the ones who can give you your competent support. Don't merge everything together, please. When you are in transition, I'm going to give you one very big example. When you were an employee then, you only knew what was to be done in the work that you are in. But when you come out trying to be a solo entrepreneur or a freelancer, there is another gap you need to fill, not only in the new hard skill sets, but also what's happening in the market right now. Because you were in the employee space specifically, I highlighted it in a way where, let's say you are in the medical industry. It's very different because medical industries is a very professional niche. And then market wise, you'll likely not be exposed to because the protocols are very strict. You need to follow it because we are talking about lives, right? And then when you come out to be doing something that maybe is like journaling, for example, you want to be in a journaling business. That was like, it's very different. So you need to reconcile that. It's okay, except that you don't know what you don't know. Go and find out answers, right? You see, what is it that you know then? And then what are the new skill sets you need to acquire? And what is the market for this specific niche that you're coming to? So this transition phase needs to be broken down in a way from different perspectives and from different people who understands this. I'm also trying my best, okay? I'm just saying some specific examples. So I'm also open to learning more different professions so that, as I continue to break them down, right, I can also learn myself. So it's not like I'm trying to teach you all things. I'm just also learning myself by actually speaking up in our sessions. So what I wanted to say is you can definitely lead the life you want. You want to open your new path, go for it. If you have a strategy and you know these steps has to be done like that, go for it. No one can say you're wrong, okay? Prove them wrong if you want, if you must. And then understand who you might need to distance yourself from because, for example, I share one very common family and friends versus business versus your working environment, right? They all have different perspectives. They know you at different levels. You cannot say one person will know you very well. Even you don't know yourself, how can you expect everyone to know you, right? This is the biggest gap that I wanted to highlight. So release all expectations, start from ground zero and enjoy the journey. Ground zero is not really ground zero because if you are already an adult, we can all assume we're all adults here. We already have some specific skill sets. Why? Why you must buy in, assume, then like that? Okay. You have already specific skill sets and wisdom, right? To know what is it that you are good at and what is it that you want to continue to build. Okay, so as what Lynn said, right, celebrate progress. It's never about perfection. Because during your transition, right, it's impossible to be perfect. But once you understand that your imperfection is perfect, right, nothing can stop you. Right? It's not about doing everything right. You think you do everything right, people will still find that it's not right. Then how you cannot move forward, So again, right, it is a process. It is a practice. I just want to end with aligned action is a practice, not a destination. Stop thinking and saying that you know. Allow yourself that it's okay to don't know. Just enjoy and surrender. I wanted to highlight what surrender means for me, right? Surrendering means, right, I do not want to assume anything. I don't expect anything. I'm just there either if I want to focus and channel my intention on a event that I really don't feel like going on. I was like, okay, I'm just here for the food. Okay, surprise me. And the universe will usually surprise me with funny, insightful learnings or dramatic, funny moments, And then from there, right, you will also feel recharged. Because if you dread going to something you don't feel like going, but know you have to show up, then understand what you can focus on in order to help you move and at least get your ass out of home to go to that event. And let yourself be surprised. No one says you have to actually hang out with everyone. You only want to, maybe put your intention, as what we mentioned about intention. I want to hang out with people who can resonate with me, who could be potentially working with me, who can help me in my growth, and then in the best possible manner. You can put out this intention. And then just go there and enjoy the food. Okay, if the food sucks, then just complain the food sucks. And now next time don't go for that. Or you can, look out for better food and suggest to the organizer. You know, there are many ways to make things better, right? And then understand that it is a practice, never a destination. Enjoy the journey because it's definitely going to be a ride of a journey. And that's where you really understand, right? What is it about you, right, that can really shine through? And in the actions that you take, right, you will actually deliver and achieve your results that also impact others. So we talk about not at the expense of others, but it's more of a win-win, right?
That's quite a long sharing.
Okay, I finished already.
That's a very
Anybody want to add on
lengthy-
also can,
yeah.
please.
So I think maybe we can actually hear out from everyone here. We are very grateful that you spend your time here, and really want to hear you out, hear from you what does aligned action means or what's your takeaway from coming here. So maybe we can start with Anthony. That's you, lady boss. Boss
Anthony,
head,
like a
go
bit
first.
like,
So boss
And then
head,
me.
Yeah.
Okay, lady boss first.
okay, so I'll go first. I think at the end of the day, we can give you a lot of but I just want to empower you, to do this. Ask yourself questions. I think today we talk about, we give you a lot of things, right? But at the end, how much can you bring back? So I want to empower you to ask yourself questions because we are all in our different season of life, right? We have different walks of life, right here. So if your season of life now is mature, then you ask that kind of questions that can help you on your entrepreneurship, on your career, whatever that makes you move forward. But if let's say now you are in the age where you are going to get married and stuff, ask yourself important questions that can, move you forward so that you can take a line action. It could be a line action with your partner as well. So a line action is not just about yourself. But of course, at the end of the day, I think the most important thing is when you ask yourself questions and you're not happy with the answer, keep asking until you get the answer that you are happy with. Because at times we are not able to get, answer in one setting. And it's common. Don't think that, I'm abnormal. So just remember, we're not here in this lifetime to please others. We are just here for ourselves. So you must be happy with your with that, then you can. So this is my takeaway for today. Right? So Anthony, are you ready now?
Or maybe before Anthony. I was wondering if Amy,
Anthony irritated.
Amy can share something. Okay, what about
Your Anthony ready lah. He
Anthony
said you
ready.
ready.
Raymond?
Hello, everyone. Yeah, yes, I came in halfway through and really enjoyed the whole conversation and sharing. One of my key takeaways is really about this personal development or this entrepreneurship I'm talking about. It's really a journey. Yeah, I really, so for me, it also has been quite a journey for me. It started from nobody. Yeah, it's quite a long journey for me that I learned. So thank you for all the sharing today. Everything that we start with our first actions. So without stepping up, and there's nothing will happen. So I learned from someone that reminded me that from 0 to 1, actually that's the most challenging. From 0 to 1. Yeah. So the moment that you have achieved the 1, then the next step from 1 onwards will become much more easier. Yeah. So thank you for sharing, Geraldine. Yeah. So thank you for hosting this share. Thank you.
Thank you. The action.
Amy sharing. Okay.
I have to say a very thank you to Wei Ying and Lin for inviting me to this session. And I feel that the energy in this room is very inspiring. Like a lot of solopreneurs, entrepreneurs that are together in one room trying to make things happen, trying to create changes. And I think I hear a lot from Lin and it's very insightful. Thank you for the sharing. And also Gerald also make very good statements about, I mean, there's a lot that's for me to digest. Sorry that I can't really relate it out, but one thing that comes to my mind is about this sharing about like, what is our bigger intention. So are we actually aligning back to our bigger intention at the end or in the middle of the day, like to make sure that we do not be like overwhelmed. And also like then it comes back to my favorite quote, which is the attention goes, energy flows. Yeah.
Yes.
So that's why, you know, so we really have to focus on what we really want in life. Like some people, I realize that like what Gerald also shared is like in the journey of entrepreneurship, we may be actually searching and still knocking the walls and trying to find out what is really truly passionate inside us. But then there will be a time when you really like realize that, oh, I finally found what I want and that's it. You just knock it down and then just focus on it. Like I shared, like I do mental health and metaphysics. There are a lot of people that will come to me and like, hey, come and do guasha lah, come and do this and that lah, come and do farmer next lah. You know, like it's like very picture, you know, something like that. Do the karate, mental health, and
Yeah.
that's it.
Yeah.
Okay, this will deviate me. Deviate someone else. I'm not. Thank you.
Yeah.
That's
So
why I
funny.
statement.
Yes. Yes.
Loud and clear.
Yeah.
One or more. It's fine.
Okay, so I think align actions. So my action intention today is to show up so showing up for people that I just met. To be honest, I just met Wei, I just met Lin, I just met Gerald. So it's really about being in a common space, synchronized. It was so funny. I always think Amy, there's not that sentence about.
Where attention, where energy flows.
Yeah, I was just in my mind, right? And then she just spoke it. I was like, wow, this frequency is like. What I really want to say to all of you watching and really good work that you guys are doing, Lynn and Gerald, team.
Thank you.
As well. And Nicole, a long time never meet you, right? Nicole, very nice lady boss. I experienced that meeting lady boss. So yes, thank you. Catch up with us. Whatever, find ways to connect with us. So I will pass it on back to lady boss.
Wait.
For me would be more on some intention is always like sometimes you need to actually pause and keep asking yourself where are you at. So to actually like what's the purpose of doing all this? Because sometimes we are still in the zone until we actually lost our way and then so it's good that you can reflect and do journaling whatever it takes.
And surround yourself with people who are your cheerleaders, right? So that when you are in need, they can be a good bouncing ball or to actually remind us. Right? Please, Anthony.
So as we go through the whole session today, there's one word suddenly came out. And when it comes to a line, right, there's one word that suddenly came out of my mind. It's impact. So one of the things I feel is that we go through so many so-called discussion and theories. One of the things maybe we can have something in mind. This word is impact. What is impact is that, for example, go down to wealth management or financial thing is that design something in 20 years what you like yourself to be or to have or to what, So very simple. If you remember the first session, or those people who have attended the first session, we go through a very simple financial theory, the rule of 72. So that with 100,000, with a proper management, after 28 years, you can have 1.6 million, So what is that? That is the impact of my life, 20 over years later, maybe 1.6 million can make me retire properly. Okay, that is good enough. Then that is the impact of your life. Then design from that. Back to the part where we were discussing. What's the first step? First step is 100,000, right? So how do we get there? Then first step of the 100,000 is 1,000, right? Or $100.
Or
How do
10.
we get there? So the whole thing is that design from the end and start small but build deep. That's why I feel that is after this session.
Yeah. So why I want to, having either speak earlier or speak last. because he's always able to come up with very insightful sharings that we can actually take away from. And we want to apply in our life what actions serve us, what resonates with us, what aligns us to who we want to become. Right? So I would like to thank everyone for coming here. This session, we held it at Jalan Besar for those who are in Singapore. If you're not able to be present, do join us live on TikTok, any one of us. And then we share from perspective of mindset, perspective of branding and positioning, and perspective of wealth. Wealth includes three areas: the health, be it mental health, physical health. It also talks about networking because who we are in terms of the sum of five people that we actually mixed with sum up who we are at the present moment. So we want to intentionally engage and learn from each other. That's where the networking part. And then the last part is wealth in terms of money and resources. Yes.
Network equals to network.
Yeah, network equals to net worth. All right, thanks, Amy. Yeah, so these are the three broad areas that we actually touch upon under this umbrella called Unleash Your Potential. So today's topic is on aligned actions. I'm very grateful. I'm sure Jara and Anthony, being the host here, we are all very grateful, including Lady Boss. How can I not mention Lady Boss? Yeah, thank you all. We are very grateful for all of you who actually join us online and face to face. For those face to face, do feel free to join us for lunch and networking. And then thank you everyone for your time. Hope that we actually brought values to you and align your actions and be the best version of yourself. Show up and bring impact to the world, the people around you, even yourself. Right. Thank you very much. And so I end the live today. Thank you all very much.
Yay.